It is Sunday, the 25th of January 2015. I'm in front of the Unitarian Church of Montreal, beginning my alternative spiritual practice of protesting against Unitarian Universalist injustices, abuses, and hypocrisy, including, but by no means limited to, the fact that the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations in Boston thought it'd be a really good idea to falsely accuse me of the archaic crime of blasphemous libel for allegedly, and I do say allegedly, making unfounded and vicious allegations to the effect that ministers of the association engage in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. So, of course, the key word in all of that legalistic bluster, which is an exact quote from the arrogant and aggressive cease and desist demand letter that the UUA hired Stikeman Elliott Barristers and Solicitors litigation lawyer, Maître Marc-André Coulombe, to have me served with in June of 2012. The key word is unfounded. So, to the very best of my knowledge, there are no unfounded allegations about Unitarian Universalist pedophiles and or rapists on the Emerson Avenger blog, as alleged by Maître Marc-André Coulombe on behalf of his client, the Unitarian Universalist Association. So I wrote back to Maître Coulombe saying, that I was having some considerable difficulty finding blog posts that matched his description of unfounded and vicious allegations, yada yada yada, and could he please provide blog post titles or URLs or something to clearly identify exactly which the Emerson Avenger blog posts he was alleging to contain unfounded and vicious allegations about Unitarian Universalist pedophiles and or rapists. Well, Maître Coulombe didn't answer my question. He did not identify any blog posts. He actually quite arrogantly sent me a second letter saying that my claims, not to be able to find any blog posts that matched his description were not credible. Not that he was saying I was lying, saying things that were not truthful. So I had to write back to him and explain to him, well, no, actually, I do know where I've written about Unitarian Universalist pedophiles and rapists, such as Reverend Mac W. Mitchell and Richard Buell. I don't know where the unfounded allegations you're talking about are. I'm talking about pedophiles and rapists that were actually convicted and sent to jail. These are hardly unfounded allegations. So where on the Emerson Avenger blog are these allegedly unfounded and vicious allegations? Well, I never heard from Maître Coulombe again. It's been more than 2.5 years, and he has yet to identify one single the Emerson Avenger blog post that actually matches his description of unfounded and vicious allegations to the effect that ministers of the association engage in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. Not only that, but he hasn't even identified any blog posts that he alleges to contain such allegations. He hasn't done anything. I think I pretty well blew him out of the water by pointing out to him that, well, no, Maître Coulombe, my allegations are not unfounded at all. And the most interesting thing about this attempted misuse of Canada's blasphemy law to try to intimidate me into removing blog posts about Unitarian Universalists who've actually been convicted of what Maître Coulombe describes as such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape, is that even if I actually was doing what he claimed, even if I actually was making unfounded allegations about Unitarian Universalist ministers engaging in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape, this would not amount to the criminal act of blasphemous libel. It would amount to ordinary libel against the people in question if they were false. Even that's open to some debate, actually, because it is my understanding of libel law that if you really and truly believe what you're saying is true, even if it isn't, well, that apparently doesn't constitute libel either. I mean, this is, again, open to some legal debate, but having been recently accused of ordinary libel for telling the truth about Sue Montgomery, you know, I researched ordinary libel in Canada, and the information that I have suggests that as long as you actually believe truly what you're saying, it's not libel, even if it's false. So anyway, like I said, that's open to debate. So anyhow, we got a person pulling up here. So anyway, you know, that's the main issue I'm protesting at the moment, just because the Unitarian Universalist Association is so obstinate in its refusal to withdraw its false blasphemous libel accusation against me and apologize for making it. As far as I'm concerned, the Unitarian Universalist Association owes an apology not only to me personally, but to any and all victims of such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by Unitarian Universalist ministers, to say nothing of Unitarian Universalist Sunday school teachers. I think they owe an apology to the Unitarian Universalist religious community as a whole for making a total mockery of everything that Unitarian Universalism supposedly stands for, especially its religious heritage of opposing blasphemy laws. Most ironically, the UUA south of the border lobbies against blasphemy laws in the United States on the basis that the blasphemy laws are unconstitutional. Yet, they seem to have no qualms about trying to misuse Canada's blasphemy law to try and suppress the truth about Unitarian Universalist pedophiles and rapists. And what's interesting is Canada's blasphemy law may well be every bit as unconstitutional as the United States blasphemy laws that the UUA lobbies against. So this is incredible two-faced hypocrisy on the part of the Unitarian Universalist Association in general, and especially on the part of Kathleen K. Montgomery, the former executive vice president of the Unitarian Universalist Association, because as the executive vice president, it is Kathleen K., or I should say it was Kathleen K. Montgomery's role to coordinate the work of the attorneys and lawyers of the Unitarian Universalist Association. So she would be the person deciding, you know, what the UUA's lawyers do. So I think I can reasonably conclude that Kathleen K. Montgomery had, you know, some hands-on responsibility for coordinating the work of Maitre Marc-André Coulombe to falsely accuse me of the crime of blasphemous libel in an effort to cover up and hide the fact that certain Unitarian Universalist ministers are in fact guilty of engaging in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape, to use a couple of choice phrases from Maitre Coulombe's cease and desist demand letters. But most ironically, K. Montgomery is the very same person who signed on to amicus briefs, or ensured that the UUA signed on to amicus briefs opposing blasphemy law or the use of blasphemy laws in the United States. So what a hypocrite she is. You know, on the one hand, she signs on to amicus briefs, or amici briefs, if you want to be proper about the plural, you know, opposing them on the basis that they're unconstitutional, and yet she has no qualms about hiring Stikeman Elliott barristers and solicitors to falsely accuse me of the crime of blasphemous libel in what I used to call Lance Armstrong style legal bullying, but which these days I'm calling Bill Cosby style legal bullying, because it's a little bit closer to you know, Bill Cosby's kind of legal bullying than Lance Armstrong. I mean, Lance Armstrong tried to intimidate people into shutting up about his doping by having them served with cease and desist demand letters accusing them of libel, etc. Well, Bill Cosby is apparently doing the same thing in terms of the alleged rapes that people are talking about. Now, I suppose Bill Cosby is still innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, but nonetheless, the clear parallel is there. So we'll just continue to walk back and forth. I'm just going to check my camera to see if it's still running properly. And yes, it is. Okay. Just a little concerned about the battery conking out in the cold weather. It's not that cold actually, but I've had the battery conk out on me a few times when I've been running video in cold weather, so I should check it every now and then to make sure it's still running. Anyway, like I said, it's the 25th of January 2015, and we're protesting in front of the Unitarian Church of Montreal, as we have been doing for quite some time. But today's protest is centered on the misuse of Canada's blasphemy law to cover up and hide pedophilia and rape committed by Unitarian Universalist ministers. To say nothing of Unitarian Universalist Sunday school teachers. It's not just Unitarian Universalist ministers who've been found guilty of such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. There's also some UU Sunday school teachers who have also been found guilty of such despicable crimes. In fact, there's one in particular, Stephen Craig Bullite, who's cooling his heels